This is your formal disclaimer that I'm going to be looking like a hot mess for a while. So any upcoming videos I might look a little whew. But hello. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Mallory, and one day I hope to look more put together and feel more normal and like my old self to the best of my own abilities. But if you'd like to become one of my pals, it's super simple. Hit the subscribe button down below, ring the bell so you don't miss out on future videos. If you are a returning pal, welcome back. I wanted to continue with education. So, I've shown this on Instagram. I did a video talking about the Dysautonomia Project book. There's probably other literature out there. Oh no, something that was hanging fell down. Alright, I have to fix that in a minute. Look, I'm cray. I could keep it like this and distract you from the video, or we could fix it. So, the Dysautonomia Project, there's probably other literature out there, and part of me is a tad bit curious, but part of me is also I feel like this breaks things down so easily, nicely, and tells you everything you'd ever want or need to know, like how I become alfalfa. If you know who alfalfa is, give this video a thumbs up. So I took a picture of stuff throughout this book, shared it on Instagram. I wanted to share this real quick. Boom. And this says underneath the image in the box, the square rectangle, because sometimes you are upright with a glimmer of who you were before dysautonomia, and sometimes you are completely down. Our logo was designed by the teenage daughter of the Dysautonomia Project founder. She would witness her mom being able to look normal one day and be completely bedridden the next, leading to the logo of two figures, one upright and the other prone. So, I have joked and made jokes when my mom, or I don't do this with doctors, but doctors are prone to ask you how long has this been a problem? How long has this been going on? My mom and I, our full-time job is filling out medical forms for me. I have upcoming doctor's appointments, and I will make those separate videos, but just letting y'all know, we've been filling out medical forms like crazy, so they often want to know when did stuff start, and my brain fog is not to be believed. My mom's brain is a little fried from all of this, so if she doesn't have anything memorized or tries to figure out when it all began, then she'll look at me, and I joke with her and I'll say, the year was 1987. And after some phone calls with other doctors and hearing other things, my mom, when we were discussing all my stuff earlier about when did this all start, she's like, I think it was 1987 was the year. The month was June. It was the third day of that month at 8:30 a.m. in the morning. But something that I've been struggling with for, gosh, as far back as I can remember, most of my adult life, that's what it kind of feels like. And that's not to say that this isn't something I've dealt with my entire life from the moment I could walk and be fully upright. But definitely like late 20s, like early 30s. I'm now 35. I'm in the mid-30 mark, which is a little weird. But it's been like a good few years that I've had this issue where I've constantly needed to like sit down, find a seat, be seated. I'd be like joining the bored men in like a clothing store, like sitting down in one of those few chairs that they had while the ladies go shopping and try things on. Yeah, or I would stay in the car. Like I could only do so much. It's like go to the grocery store with my mom, fine, but then like, you know, she needs to run into like a different pharmacy because we do utilize the pharmacy in the grocery store, but we also get a lot of stuff compounded, so that would mean a compound pharmacist. And just little things, like maybe she would need to like go into the bank or whatever for a hot minute. Like these quickie little like dropping something off at the UPS store, whatever it is. Like I can only do so much, and then I'm like, no, I have to stay in the car. Do not expect me to be upright, walking, standing, because I will find a place to sit or lean up against something. And I had no idea why. I had no idea what it was. Turns out it is orthostatic intolerance. I'm allergic to gravity, y'all. I had to fight it. I'm allergic to it. Except for my hair. It's doing its own thing. So I wanted to educate you all today on orthostatic intolerance in chapter 9, and this is orthostatic intolerance spectrum, living with orthostatic intolerance. And as per usual, there's the side for the patient and the side for the physician. I'll be reading the side of the patient. If you want to know more about the physician side, let me know and maybe I can make that a separate video. But I feel like a lot of the physician side tends to get scientific, fancier things, and I have a hard enough time as it is. But if you are someone that wants to know or you're intrigued, I'll do my best. Or we can do these videos, like, say we, there's no one next to me. My mom's sleeping, but I was like, she and we could do these like types of stuff together. Maybe help for the podcast, Mallory's Thought Bubble. Check it out. And by check it out, I mean just follow me on Instagram until the thing is actually up and running. But for the podcast, like I could be the patient, she could like play the role of the physician. I am so out of breath and exhausted. So, because it does baffle some people, including myself, how some days I can sit upright for like an hour or two on like a really good day, but then other days I can barely be upright. I'm splatto, as my mom would say. I'm splatto on the couch, or I am just bedbound, bedridden. And yeah, so orthostatic intolerance spectrum. You'll be doing everything right, and then all of a sudden you start to feel really bad. Give into it. Lie down. Do not try to push through it. If you do, you'll make your symptoms worse. Randy Thomas, MD. So, only about 40% of people with dysautonomia actually pass out. Fun fact, I'm not a fainter, I'm a near fainter. I have a fear of fainting. It's a big fear of mine. Not my biggest, but it's up there. And you've been given a problem that can cause syncope. Scares me just a little bit. I worked on this with a therapist once, and she's like, you're not a fainter, you're an almost fainter. Think of all the times you felt like you were going to faint, but you never did. And I know there's plenty of people who've come very close to it, but they don't, but they feel all those awful feelings like they're going to, and you just have to like ride it out. It's the worst. Just want to clear up some myths and rumors. And also speak more, like if something is written in here that doesn't apply to me, I will tell you, because I'm just sharing my personal experiences. Pass out, but here's the but 99% have overwhelming fatigue. Ain't that the truth? Most patients have daily symptoms that they learn to live with, and episodes where symptoms become overwhelming and they need to lie down. Lying down relieves orthostatic stress and improves symptoms and orthostatic intolerance. Most patients have many symptoms beyond lightheadedness. Take a look and see if any of these symptoms are familiar to you. So I'll read them off and tell you if it applies to me or not. Lightheadedness. Lightheadedness. Fainting. Fatigue. Brain fog / mental clouding. Difficulty finding words. Short-term memory loss. I don't think I'm there, but some days it feels like. So if I could have like a half a finger, give myself half a point. Sensory hypersensitivity, like light, sound, motion, touch, and that's 5 so far. I'm gonna expand on that. My whole life, I was the quirky kid. Okay, now I'm just a quirky adult. But I had what was formerly called sensory processing disorder. Now it's a new name, and I don't remember what it was. What it is. I don't think it helps, and I don't care how this sounds. I don't think it helps that I'm on the spectrum, that I was diagnosed at 17 with Asperger's syndrome. People with a form of ASD, they naturally cannot tolerate bright lights, loud noises, crowded places, touch, just a lot of things. And I've been a car sick baby and kid my whole life. Sometimes I still get motion sickness as an adult. It's not as bad as it was when I was a kid. So when I was a baby, I came out of the womb and into the world screaming bloody murder for like a solid 18 months. I don't know, something crazy. There was a good chunk of time where I just would not stop screaming. Like, I let the world know I'm here and I'm pissed. Like, there's a reason I stayed in I was 2 weeks late. I stayed an extra 2 weeks. In the cozy comfort of a womb, shall we say. And then the eviction notice came, and my mom's like, time to get out, kid. And I was like, And she gave birth to me on June 3rd, 1987 at 8:30 in the morning, and said my fingernails and my toenails are very long, and I was extremely wrinkly. So, yeah, screamed. I was labeled as colic. My mom now thinks that was something else. Motion sickness, hated being in the car, put in the car seat, car ride, so it'd scream my head off if I wasn't throwing up. Yeah. I've not really at all had it easy, to say the least. So that 5. But I just wanted to say, like, when you have a sensory issue, that's either part of autism spectrum disorder, or whether it's part of, in addition to, etc. Like, that's just going to set you up for whatever. That's not fun. But then you have dysautonomia that causes hypersensitivities. And then you have me, who gets sensory overload like you wouldn't believe. And emotional overload. Like, I got a lot going on, okay? Coat hanger pain, neck and shoulders. Number 6, yes, I think I have the coat hanger syndrome. Have you ever put on a jacket and the hanger is still in there and everything is stiff and hard to move and it hurts? is this? I think I have it, but I can't fully pronounce it. Basically there's a fancy word here I can't pronounce that means pins and needle feelings. And to me, I call that neuropathy, but like, is there something else? This is like paresthesia, PARESTHESIAS. Would that be this thing? Number 7. Definitely sometimes at the end of the day, if I'm wearing my compression garments, like my compression socks, I will get my feet will fall asleep easily. I get like the pins and needles feelings you get like when if you've ever had like a foot or your arm or something fall asleep, like that pins and needle feeling, I get it like in my calves and in my feet. And part of me is like, is it the way that I'm sitting? Because it happens a lot when I'm filming in here. And when it's late at night and when I have compression socks on. Like I have it right now. Like my left foot is like going night-night. And my mom thought maybe I'm wearing too small, too tight of a compression garment. But I do get I get a lot of weird sensations in my body. So I'm counting it. Migraine headaches. I'm giving that a point because I do get vestibular migraines, not like I used to. Knock on wood for me, please, and thank you. Unless you're in the UK, give it a tap. But I believe I've had, honest to God, like painful, like but debilitating migraines in my life, and I get ocular migraines all the time. So there's like 1,000 different, not 1,000, but there's a lot of different types of migraines. So we're calling it. Other headaches. So the numbness in hands and feet. I don't know that my feet necessarily go numb, but sometimes I get numbness like in my leg. What is this? 5 and 4 is 9, so 9 points. Here's the only thing that didn't fully fit for me was the fainting, and I'm not giving a full-on point for short-term memory loss. But it goes on. It continues. So far at number 9. Exercise intolerance. I don't think I have it. I'm crossing my fingers that I don't have it. I was having issues and had to stop exercising. But I'm just praying to whomever that I am not someone who is exercise intolerant, because that would make me very sad. Okay, moving along. Next one is number 10, which is heat intolerance. I've had that my entire life. Abnormal sweating. That's like there was a time where I swear to you, I was like, I could just go downstairs, pick up, this is when I could do things. I could go down the flight of stairs, pick up a package, like a thing of cat litter. Is that like heavy? Yeah. Is it like heavy? No. And I would carry it up the stairs and I would be like sweating. I'm like, why when I do the simplest of things, I'm just like running around the condo, like sprucing stuff up, why am I sweating? I used to, but then all of a sudden I kind of like stopped sweating. I don't know what my body's doing. I don't even think my body knows what it's doing. So that's like a 50-50. Like, we're not going to call it, but that's my story. Temperature dysregulation. A hell to the yeah. So all this time I thought I had menopause or some form of very, very early onset menopause and hormonal issues. I'm not saying I don't have hormonal issues, because I do, but what those hot flashes that I thought were menopausal hot flashes, no, it's just my body not being able to regulate temperature Hence why I'm hot, cold, hot, cold, hot, cold. But when I'm hot, I'm hot. So that's what was like very confusing to me. Abdominal pain. I'm going to say no. Do I get the occasional bizarre out of the blue stomach aches that like can wake me up in the middle of the night or have me like doubled over? And very uncomfortable? Yes. But it's not that frequent. And usually if something's bothering me in that region, I can pinpoint out why, so I'm not calling it. So we're at what? 11? Nausea. Oh, hell yeah. I've been like nauseous my whole life, as far back as I can remember. Yes. Nauseous. Always does that. Vomiting. I'll give it, because like I said, my childhood, even maybe like my going into my teens, early teens, I did that a lot. I don't do it so much now, but I think I did it so much when I was younger, it counts. Is that 13? I don't know. Okay, I'm just gonna say what it says, even if it's TMI. Constipation, diarrhea. Am I giving myself anything for that? No. I mean, I think those things can happen to anybody and it's normal. I don't have anything to be concerned about. Whew. This one I can never pronounce. Gastropariasis. Gastrointestinal tract stop moving. So gastropariasis is when like you eat food and stuff, but like it doesn't move, and the your intestines, like it just food gets stuck. Don't have that. Palpitations, yeah, baby. Chest pains, I do get those. Difficulty breathing, anxiety and depression, yes and yes. Difficulty with depth perception, oh yeah. Tinnitus, the ringing of your ears, oh. Flushing, so flushing, dry, hot, red face, upper body. I mean, if I've been in the heat, I can get red in the face. When I used to work out like crazy, I'd come home and my mom would tell me I looked like a tomato. Now, I don't know if that has anything to do with this or that's completely separate, so we're not gonna call it or count it for keeping track right. What the hell is this? Okay. Something I can't pronounce, but it's like, it has to do with your feet, where there's like a purplish blue color, or like there's a change in the feet. I don't have that. Okay. We're going to continue on. Plans will change. You'll make plans to go out with friends, and just before it's time to go, you'll start to feel bad. Since your episodes will start with symptoms of feeling bad, it's important for you to try to pay attention to your body. What kind of feeling bad or first symptom do you experience? It's important to note differences like those between being tired and being fatigued. See Chapter 10. Not today, but some other time. We're going to dive down to chronic fatigue syndrome. Your symptoms may vary, but after time you may begin to recognize a helpful pattern. Once you realize that you're starting to become symptomatic, give into it, lie down, and rest. The relief of orthostatic or upright, like me, I'm upright, stress will improve your symptoms. Okay. Once you get into an episode, it may be helpful to load up on fluids and salt. Drinking 32 ounces of cool liquids quickly, along with eating a salty snack, may speed up your recovery. Most important is to pay attention to your body. When you start to feel bad, change your plans and recover before the symptoms worsen. So y'all are propped up on my walker, and underneath the little seat I have a little snack for myself for later. I was looking for a snack earlier, and side note, and I went like in the back where my mom has some of my stuff stored, and I was like, there's a chips. I'm like, where did all the chips go? So I put 2 bags hiding in my walker. And I keep telling myself, don't forget they're there. So, brain fog is under the spectrum of orthostatic intolerance. So, a difficult symptom for most people to understand. Brain fog or mental clouding occurs when there is not an ideal amount of blood flow to the cerebral cortex. Not a dangerously low level, but a smaller than normal amount. The lower blood flow causes difficulty with concentrating, finding words, lying or laying down short-term memory tracks, and other symptoms. Don't worry, you're not losing IQ points. It is temporary. It is a temporary system that can improve when you reduce stress and get some good rest. So I'll be here all night, folks. Learn more about brain fog, and we will, in chapter 13. It is important to note that sitting upright is an orthostatic position, which may cause you to experience symptoms. It is helpful to determine how long you can stand and or sit upright before experiencing symptoms so that you can be prepared and plan activities appropriately. That's why, like, me trying to get a haircut is, like, tricky. Because I don't know. There's a lot of unknowns. I think it's fair to say there's a lot of unknowns. But I don't know. Life is weird. Dysautonomia, it's something. And if you can't tell, I'm very out of breath, tired, feeling a little dizzy, kind of just zoning out and out of it. And what sounds so beautiful right now is going into my room, lying down in my bed, getting comfortable, eating my little snack, watching the YouTube video or two or something on a streaming service, and like just trying to like get a good night's sleep. So, all that to say, if you have further questions, I would just say Google, buy a book, Google, do your research, but you can always ask me anything, but just know my memory is busted. But you can leave all your comments down below, questions, suggestions down below. You can subscribe or ring the bell so you don't miss out on future videos. Give a thumbs up for my hair. It's just living its best life, doing the most. Yeah, anyways, I don't know what else to say. I'm gonna fix the thing that fell down, and until next time, like this video, because I want to know if you want to hear more and learn more, because I'll be happy to share. More than happy. And until then, keep it quirky.